Cosmic Family, and welcome. Today I'm gonna jump right into it. We have a major energetic shift coming our way. When these major energetic shifts come our way, lots of interesting things happen, but it's basically like a massive wave in the ocean, and we're all basically like surf riders or in little ships on these, and we got to ride these waves. Now if you're a great surfer, this could be an amazing thing. You ride these massive energetic shifts, right? And they can be big winds internally and externally. Same thing if you're on a boat and you're a captain who knows what they're doing, it could be an exciting ride. But if you're not a good surfer, or you're not a good captain, and your boat is not in a good state and you don't know what to do with it, it can be very overwhelming. So I'm going to share with you things that have been shared with me through channelings about how you can prepare for this major energetic shift coming. Now there are three parts, three main things that you can do. That's I'm going to focus on. I don't want to overwhelm you with more. These three are very powerful. Now the third one is, I'd say, the most important and actually the hardest for our brains, for most of us to do. So I'm going to save the best for last. Make sure to check in with yourself. Oftentimes we go through life in total auto mode and things come up. We get signs from our bodies, we get signs from relationships, different things that let us know that something is off, that something must be corrected, that something we must work on something. But oftentimes we ignore these things and then we just feel the pain later on, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, or just a result that we were looking for doesn't come in. And so a big part of helping in this situation is checking in with yourself. All right, oftentimes this is something that we would have learned at home growing up. You know, how are you? What's going on? What are you feeling? This is really key, and you can do this through journaling. You can take time out and do it consistently for a week. Really check in. Take an inventory, right? Like a self-inventory, where you are in your life right now. How are you feeling about what's going on? But here's the thing. This might be the easy part for many of us, because at first you might say, oh, I'm feeling this. I feel great. Everything is awesome. Everything's perfect. Okay, done. Or you might say, oh, everything's great, well, there's this thing and it's not going well, and it can linger and linger and linger and linger and linger, right? You want to get to a place where you take internal inventory, you pinpoint what is it that you are feeling, what is it that's going on with you, and then pinpoint where the issue and the problem is and go for a solution. This is hard because sometimes we don't have a solution, and that's okay. This is the point where you reach out, okay? It could be somebody close to you, a family member, a friend, or it could be a professional in an area that you're looking for help in. But please do this. I know I've caught myself in lingering in certain states and emotions and confusion, and oh, I need to do this, I have to get this done, or I would like to understand what's going on here. Seek out help if you're not sure, all right? But get to it and sort of place a limit on yourself for how long you're going to tolerate a certain state, because oftentimes it's easy to keep going on and on and on, feeling a certain way and not setting that boundary with ourselves, all right? This is how we learn to set boundaries with others. We first must do it with ourselves. The second point is have some faith in yourself and in Source, all right? Now, if you don't have any faith in yourself or in Source, then take the time to build it, okay? A great way to do this is obviously the good old gratitude, all right? Being in a state of gratitude. Make sure that you do this daily. You can write it down or not, just when you first wake up, you know, count your blessings, so to speak. And same thing in the evening, all right? And building faith in ourselves and in the Source will help us in those moments when we might not have the necessary tools to help us, but a miracle happens. Why? Because we have this faith, and this faith generates energy, it generates motion. It starts to bring things about in our life, right? People, situations, circumstances where all of a sudden the light bulb goes off, right? That solution comes, or someone comes into our life and you know, they open up the door to something, or another door opens. We have no idea how or why, but it just it just happens to work. And that faith is so key, all right? It sounds so simplistic, but it's those little adjustments that we make within that really, really make a huge difference. Now, this is the third part and the most important thing. In order for you to be able to weather this next energetic shift and to really thrive in it, not just be in the survival state or in a numb state where a lot of people are, you want to complete unfinished business. And this has to do with both physical things in your life and internal things in your life, spiritual, emotional items in your life. Physical things, a broken door, a broken window, something broken in your car, something physical that's broken. Maybe you're using something that's like barely working and you're just trying to squeeze the last life out of it. You know, fix it, throw it out, get the new thing, or just get rid of it, all right? You have to complete unfinished business. And so fix it, whatever it is that you're, got going on. Same things with relationships. Maybe you're in a relationship with, it's in limbo. Make a choice, make a decision in yourself, all right? Maybe you can't control the decisions that other people make and the choices that they make about a relationship, but it's okay for you to do that, all right? So complete unfinished business. This does a lot because we're constantly leaking energy, all right? Mental, emotional, spiritual energy when we have unfinished business, right? When we have clutter in our spaces, right? When we have just things that are broken that we're like, oh, I'll get to it. This is the time to do it. Trust me, this is such a huge thing that I've been it's making a difference in my life. And this is something that Seven brought up to me when I was sitting one day just feeling overwhelmed. They said, start small, okay? Start with a little, even physical things, because it helps to clear up your mind. And physical things could be, setting your home in order, your closet, little things like that, all right? Fixing something that's broken, that's very essential. Or if it's broken, you don't want to use it, get rid of it, all right? These things help sort of, like, we have our bodies like this energy center, right? It's receiving and releasing energy, okay? And when it's working perfectly, we feel aligned, we feel energized, we feel on point, we feel on purpose. But sometimes they're sort of like, if you had like a floaty or something and it's got holes in it, like air is leaking out, all right? And then you can't use this floaty. All of a sudden within 10 minutes you're floating down the river and there's no floaty anymore, all right? So in the same way, you want to make sure to patch these areas of your life, all right? Or if you have to get a new floaty, you get a new floaty. But if we're speaking symbolically about our bodies and our energy bodies, this is what we have. The mental, emotional, physical body that we have, this is what we have in our hands, so we work on repairing it, and we do this consistently, and that's how we keep that consistent energy flow going. And this is how we're ready when the energy shift comes. We're just so tuned in that we're like that surfer who's like riding those massive waves, right? They have these huge massive waves in Portugal, and you hear of every year there is like a surfer who's like riding these incredible things, and you see it and you're like, how is that possible? It's the same thing with these energy shifts. These are the times when you've been working consistently on something. This can be something internal, emotionally. You've been working on yourself to get more clarity, to be more aligned, to ascend, all right? And this is when those energy shifts come that uplift us from like a 10 to like a 97, right? And however, the opposite can happen if we're in complete and utter confusion, right? It can just like swallow us under, all right? And then it's like we got to start all over again. So that's my message for today. Thank you so much. If you liked this message, feel free to share it. And if you are not subscribed, make sure that you do so, and stay in touch outside of YouTube, because you never know what happens. I know sometimes people get unsubscribed without unsubscribing themselves. So weird things happen. So if that happens, go to ascension7.org and sign up for my newsletter, so that way we can stay in touch. It's very timely. The church bells are going off. I'm not sure if you can hear it. But I live in Europe, so you hear the church bells like 3 times a day. Thank you so much, and be blessed.